Diddy's thoughts in detention. The heavy clank of the iron door closing behind him echoed through his mind. What could he be thinking of right now? Does he have any regrets, pains, or concerns? The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead in the small room. The unforgiving glow made everything feel more real, more permanent. He leaned against the cold wall in his small cell. There was a small bed, a toilet, a sink, and a storage space. Diddy had been in here for days. His thoughts raced, darting between the past, the present, and what little future he could imagine for himself. There was no avoiding it now. Alone in this cell, stripped of distractions, he had nothing left but his thoughts. How did I end up here? Diddy thought. He had asked himself that question 100 times since his arrest. Every wrong turn, every bad decision replayed in his mind like a broken record. He knew the risks. He always knew. But greed, or maybe desperation, had pushed him too far. Now, there was no turning back. His actions had caught up with him, and the consequences were real. His mother's face flashed in his mind. He hadn't called her in weeks, not since things started to spiral out of control. He could imagine the look of disappointment on her face when she found out. She had always believed in him, even when no one else did. And what did he do? He let her down, just like everyone else. I should have listened to her, he muttered under his breath, guilt weighing heavily on his chest. Then there was Keisha, his little sister. She was just 16, full of dreams and potential. Diddy had always promised to be there for her, to protect her from the streets and keep her focused on school. Now he was locked up, unable to be the big brother she needed. What kind of example am I setting for her? He thought. The thought of Keisha losing faith in him cut the deepest. Natasha was everything to him. She stood by him when no one else would. She was always there with a smile, always believing in his potential. But what now? How long would she wait for him? Would she move on? The idea of losing her felt like a punch to the gut. I can't blame her if she does, he thought. He had promised her a beautiful life, a future, and now he couldn't even promise her tomorrow. Time was slipping through his fingers. Every second in this cell was a second lost. Would the world forget him while he sat here? His friends? His family? Would he fade away like a ghost, a name whispered occasionally but slowly forgotten? Diddy wasn't sure if he could bear being left behind, watching life go on without him. He thought back to all the chances he had. There were so many moments when he could have walked away from the streets, taken a different path, gone legit. But the allure of fast money, of living large, had always been too tempting. Now, all he could think about were the opportunities he squandered, the potential he wasted. The locked doors, the constant surveillance, these were reminders of what he no longer had: freedom. Once a lion of his kingdom, now he longed to be outside, to feel the sun on his skin, to breathe fresh air. Every small moment of liberty he took for granted now felt like a distant memory, something he might never fully experience again. Will I still be me when this is over? Diddy wondered. Time in a place like this could change a man. It could harden him, break him, or make him lose touch with who he really was. Where were his boys now? The ones who were always down for a good time, who promised loyalty and had his back in the streets? Would they visit him? Or were they already moving on, forgetting about him as if he were just another casualty of the game? The thought of being abandoned by those he called friends made the walls of his cell feel even smaller. In the middle of all the fear, regret, and uncertainty, there was one thought that gave Diddy a sliver of hope: redemption. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe when he got out, he could start over, make things right with his family, be there for Keisha, find a way to make Natasha proud. But it wouldn't be easy. The road to redemption was long and hard, and he wasn't sure if he had the strength to walk it. But in this cell, with nothing but his thoughts, hope was all he had left. Lesson learned: if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Disclaimer: this is a dramatization. There is no proof that these are Diddy's real thoughts and/or situation.